Cognitive neuroscience is starting to reveal the underlying mechanisms in the human propensity to create alternative life events, or counterfactual thinking.
And in how people bring to mind alternatives to reality, and the role that those if-onlys, those unrealized alternatives, play in our lives.
This tendency can be exploited using methods such as the illusionary truth effect, discussed in an earlier part. This is largely down to the similarities between episodic memory, counterfactual thinking, and episodic future thinking, i.e. thoughts about possible future events.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Episodic future thinking, or mental time travel, was shown by Atance and O'Neill in 2005 to develop in human beings between the ages of 3 and 4.
But even simple 4 neuron circuits can make decisions. One neuron is enough to store short-term memory, and one synapse is enough to store long-term memory.
The evolution of this capacity uses the episodic semantic memory distinction to enhance fitness by enabling action in preparation of different possible scenarios, increasing present and future survival, and increasing reproduction chances.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Human language may have evolved in the first instance for the sharing of these past and planned future events, and indeed fictional ones, further enhancing fitness in social settings.
For most of human history, information has been shared in the form of stories. Our brains are programmed more for stories than they are for abstract ideas or facts. A good story helps people interpret the facts and see a bigger picture. And if you're the one telling the story, you can influence the way your audience interpret facts.
This ability to create alternative life experiences also enables empathy and imaginations. Tell any small child you're in discomfort and they will try to see from your perspective, triggering empathy as they remember their own past discomfort from past episodic memory traces. Furthermore, a child will mix mimicry and imagination. After watching, say, a driver, they will soon mimic and adapt the surroundings to turn a wheel, make a noise, and let the semantic memory fill in the gaps, as the child drives through their memories, combining new traces in new combinations.
Today, he drove his great-grandmother's car more than a mile on a busy road in Minnesota during rush hour.
We'll just let him explain why he did it.
And how fast were you going, do you know?
I hit this gas brake and like that.
And where were you going?
To the gas station.
How come?
Because I have reasons.
In 2009, Atance et al. Showed that this type of memory and retrieval involved the brain's default network, with overlapping parts activated when remembering real or alternative events. However, the work of Parikh et al. In 2018 only gives reliability to networks within the hippocampus, going on to suggest both episodic and semantic counterfactual thinking are centered there, with semantic simulations showing a greater difference between plausibility than episodic simulations.
Hear you. Can you take it up because I cannot hear you?
I'll just speak louder, sir.
Oh, okay, good. You want to be politically correct. Go ahead.
No, sir, I just want to wear the mask.
I had a mask on. I sort of liked the way I looked. And I thought it looked okay. It looked like the Lone Ranger.
So has Trump been anti-mask? Or does he look good as the Lone Ranger, fighting evil on his own?
Here's the thing. Surgical masks aren't actually designed to protect you from dangerous particles in the environment. Only respirators are. Instead, the mask's intended for the opposite job, protecting other people from your germs.
More recent work, such as that of Goal et al. In 2017, shows that the orbital polar prefrontal cortex is important in emotional reasoning, with lesions in this area resulting in impairment, suggesting any emotional filter used during the formation and retrieval of memories could be within that area. Comparing memory retrieval with episodic counterfactual thinking has revealed differences in age affect the strength of these thoughts, with research revealing emotional intensity is greater in negative than positive retrieval, and that the episodic parts of memories are easier to trick than the semantic.
Yeah, Boris Johnson. Good man. He's tough and he's smart. They're saying Britain Trump. They call him Britain Trump, and people are saying that's a good thing. That they like me over there. That's what they...
With our friends in America, and I share the optimism of President Trump.
Modern life with the use of advertisements, fake news and negative politics affect these mechanisms, placing counterfactual thinking at the centre of our decision making. This is highlighted with responses to government failures, such as the comparative deaths in a pandemic, met with the response of, imagine what it would have been like if the others were in charge, instead of, how did this go wrong? Was anyone at fault? And how do we do better next time?
And when there is a risk that new diseases such as coronavirus will trigger a panic and a desire for market segregation that go beyond what is medically rational.
I can name Kung Flu. I can name 19 different versions of names. Many call it a virus, which it is. Many call it a flu. What difference?
This has been a disaster, right? Let's not mince our words. I mean, this has been an absolute nightmare for the country. The country's gone through a profound shock. But in those moments, you have the opportunity to change and to do things better.